So the Bitcoin halving finally happened, but now what? In this video, I want to talk around what actually happens at a Bitcoin halving so you really understand even the mechanics behind the scenes and why this is so bullish for the overall crypto space and the Bitcoin price. I'm going to be talking a little bit around some market analysis, my price predictions for Bitcoin and the altcoin market going into this bull run. I'm going to spend a bit of time talking around my strategy and plan and where we are in this overall cycle. We've had a bit of a pullback over the last week or so, and actually this has been the perfect opportunity to be DCAing into our highest conviction plays. I'm going to be talking a little bit around that. If you stay to the end of the video, I'm also going to be talking about some new alpha, a brand new ecosystem that has just launched. And I genuinely believe there are 100 and 200x gains on the table here. So let's jump into the video. So what is meant by the Bitcoin halving? It's very simple. The reward rate given to our miners is cut in half on the halving event. So every 210,000 blocks we have on these events, which equates to every 4 years. The first one happened all the way back in 2012 when the reward rate was cut from 50 Bitcoins down to 25 Bitcoins. Every 4 years after that, we had a new halving event. So you can see in 2016, it was 12.5. In 2020, it was 6.25. And with our most recent one a few days ago on April 19th, 24, that has now been split down to 3.125 Bitcoins per reward block. Now, if we go down a bit further, one thing that's really interesting I saw down here is the final halving event is actually expected in 2140, which I don't think many of us are going to be around for, but who knows, with the rate technology is going at the moment, maybe we will be. Jumping into the charts, I just wanted to show what happened post the last halving events. I think this is really useful trying to build a picture and trying to predict what's going to happen next. Now, first thing to say is on each previous halving event we've had, it has been incredibly bullish and acts as a really bullish catalyst for the price of Bitcoin. So that on its own is really good news. What happened in the next 12 months? On the first halving, we went up nearly 100x. So we started on $12, and I think we got to around $1,200 around 12 months later before we started seeing a bit of a pullback. On the second halving in 2016, we started on $600 and we went into a 31x. The third in 2020, we actually started around 8,000 before we did that last big run up, which a lot of us were around for, reaching up to around the sort of $69,000 target. Now, with this current halving and this new bull run we've just entered, there are a few things that are different. We've had a bunch of new catalysts kick things off, and actually we've hit a new all-time high prior to the halving event, which we've never done before. So that on its own does change things slightly. Some other things that are really important to consider are ETFs. We've now got spot ETFs that have been approved in the US, and we're seeing huge inflows coming in for them. And very recently, we've just had a Hong Kong spot ETF for Bitcoin approved as well, which is going to open the markets up to the other side of the world. So we've now got the West and the Asian markets now investing in this Bitcoin ETF, which is going to add a whole new dynamic to this market. So jumping into this chart, you can see here, this is a total net flows, which is really interesting to keep an eye on, as I like to see what's happening. Now, you can see this line here is the zero, and anything below there are outflows for the day, and anything above it are inflows. Now, overall, it's been hugely positive, but as Grayscale has a huge amount of Bitcoin that it's still trying to sell onto the market, we're going to see this battle between the new ETFs that have launched, the new asset managers selling this and creating inflows, with Grayscale selling off theirs. It's always been a bit of a battle, and the last week we've seen more outflows, but that has just flipped to the positive side. We're now seeing a total net inflow over for money coming in through the ETFs. And why I want to spend a little bit of time talking about that is we've now got a new type of investor, a new demographic of investors that have come into the crypto market, which we've never seen before. Now, that in line with the new Bitcoin halving event creates an absolutely enormous catalyst for upward price momentum, because the demographic of the new investors, they aren't trying to time dips, they're not trying to time the bottom. They will buy the top over and over again, and they're also adding this to their portfolios for the long term, not short-term flips. So it really means that supply of Bitcoin that's been taken off the market through these spot ETFs is being locked up for a lot longer period. That, with the recent halving event, means that we've got less supply coming onto the market. With each halving event, it completely cuts in half how much Bitcoin comes into the market by slicing the reward rate by half. So that combined with the ETF, the halving, this is a whole new era we're entering, and I'm super bullish for where we're going to get to in this cycle. People say because we hit an all-time high previous to the halving, this really blows out any predictions we've currently got. I think it's obviously going to be a positive. Other people may be thinking differently, but the price predictions that we've currently got are just been crazy. I think I put down here a few days ago where I think we're going to be getting to. My price predictions were around 210 at the peak bull for Bitcoin, around 15,000 for ETH, and I think around $800 for Sol. Again, I put bookmark this as I want to come back to this when we get to the peak bull run and see how close I was. One other thing to really pay attention to here is where we are in the cycle. And actually, you can see here is Bitcoin as a search term over Google, and this is worldwide where we are. Now you can see, yeah, we've certainly had a bit of a peak coming up since the last sort of 6 months or so, but we're nowhere near where we were at peak bull run back in 2017 or even back in 2021. You can see the peaks here, and it's really interesting to compare this to the actual charts and where we were with price, how many people are searching for the term. Now, we are about halfway in here, so I think it's really important to consider this as where you think we are in the overall cycle. I shared a bit of an image the other day of the psychology of market cycles, which is a lot of people will be quite aware of this diagram showing this. But we've broken all-time highs, we've had the Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin is starting to increase in Google searches, we've had a couple big corrections, but we're still really early. And actually, a lot of the gains are being get made in this later stage of the market. So I believe with the pullbacks we're having at the moment, it's super important to be capitalizing on those and using those as DCA territories to be adding to your favorite projects and highest conviction plays. It's really easy to get caught up with the fear when we're having big pullbacks, or get caught up in the FOMO on big green days. Sticking to a strategy, sticking to a plan, and really understanding and sometimes just zooming out and looking at maybe where we are in the entire cycle, like this diagram shows, can help you give a bit better perspective. But adding on days of red and taking profits when days are green is going to get you to the end of this bull run and keep you in profit. Bull runs are really difficult, and it can be scary when you see big 60-70% corrections in the altcoin market. But those are the days you need to be convicted and be adding to your highest conviction plays. They will pay absolute dividends when we pick back up again and we continue with this bull run. So I just wanted to recap very quickly. What is the Bitcoin halving? It's when the reward rate for our miners is cut in half. Why is this important? Because the supply coming onto the market is sliced in half, meaning usual supply versus demand mechanics are at play here, and there is just simply less supply available to buy. So this, in combination with all the other factors that are happening at the moment, sets us up for an incredible bull run. We've never had a bull run where we've hit an all-time high before, where we're going in with actual spot ETFs available to other investors, not just crypto heads. And we've got a new type of investor at play here, as well as institutional investment and money flooding the market. My predictions over the next 6 months, I see us reaching right up to the 100K mark and topping through that. I think the 100K is going to act as a bit of a barrier psychologically. We've been talking about this since the last cycle. But once we break through that, which I imagine we do with vengeance, it's going to go through and it's going to start shooting straight up. It's very easy once we break these psychological marks for the market just to start FOMOing in. And once we break 100K, I imagine we'll see a lot more of the sort of retail investors coming back in, which will just push us straight up. And there's nothing more powerful than FOMO and green candles. And actually, I don't think we're really prepared for how crazy this bull run will get. Because as soon as we break that 100K mark, the altcoin market is just going to go absolutely parabolic. And actually, what we'll see is a lot of money rotating from Bitcoin whilst they start looking for riskier plays, which more potential gains on the table. And all of us who've been adding to our highest conviction altcoin plays during these pullbacks, during the start of this bull run, are going to be in for an absolute treat. And we're going to see billions and billions of dollars flood into those projects. Now, the final bit of alpha I want to drop is the new Runes protocol. This has just been released in line with the Bitcoin halving. It is now giving us the opportunity to create new tokens and new fungible tokens on top of the Bitcoin layer. This has been a real enhancement to the Ordinals protocol and actually has two of the same developers, Casey and Leonardus, who are actually building this and wanting to improve what was already built from Ordinals. Now, why am I so bullish about this? You have the opportunity, everybody watching this video, to be one of the most early adopters of new tokens and new meme tokens that are launching on Bitcoin. Now, why do I say meme? The reason I'm talking about meme tokens is because actually the holders of the rune stone are all being airdropped a dog token. Now, 100% of the supply of this new meme coin are going to holders of rune stones. There's no team tokens, no tokens given to exchanges. It's going to be 100% of supply is going to the runestone holder. And this is going to be the largest meme project on the largest crypto network, which is Bitcoin. That in itself is just hugely bullish. And what is going to happen next is a bunch of other meme tokens are going to be launching using the new Runes protocol. So, what would I be doing if I wanted to capitalize on this opportunity? First of all, I'd go and follow Leonardus and I'd go and follow Casey, who are both instrumental in this space. And I'd be going to applications like Magic Eden and trawling through any new projects that are launching using the new Runes protocol. If you find a project that has just launched, you might be able to get in and mint a brand new project for very small amounts of money. Could do 100, 200 extra turns here. If we look at meme market cap at the moment, it actually sits around 55 billion. Comparing that to gaming, which is sitting around 27, which is about half as much. AI is doing quite well, which is up around 40 billion now. But the fact that memes is winning here shows you the combination of meme culture coming to Bitcoin could be explosive. And you are super, super early to this. What I'm doing now is doing as much research as possible on this. I'm going to create a video where I dive into the ins and outs of the Rune protocol, projects I'm looking at, what I'm really excited about, and where the new alpha is coming. But the one thing I would really pay attention to is this new dog coin that's being released. If you haven't got a runestone, yes, you're not going to be having part of the airdrop, but as soon as this hits the market, it's going to be super, super volatile. And I'm sure you'll be able to sweep up a few cheap tokens post-launch. As post-launch and post-TGE events, you always find a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a dump of the tokens before it takes off again. So pay attention, as this is going to be coming in the next day or so. Thanks so much for watching and listening. The next video, as I said, I'm going to be jumping in and diving into the Runes ecosystem and really picking a few gems that I'm going to be investing in and doing a bit more comprehensive deep dive into what this means to the space. If there's any videos or deep dives you want to see more, please comment below and let me know. I'm also going to be touching on my 10K to 100K challenge in the next video as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.